Good morning, guys. Welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us start the session with a nice quote. I think there is a very useful quote for guys like you. Focus on where you want to be, not on where you were or where you are. Focus on where you want to be, not on where you were in the past or where you are in the present. So what is important here? You want to become something, you want to achieve something, you have a big dream, you have a lot of dreams, and always try to focus on where you want to be, not on what you were, where you were or where you are. Don't consider the past. Usually we say that, don't brood over the past. Don't consider the past, but we always say consider the present. But here we also say don't consider the present. Think of the future. Focus on where you want to be. You want to become an IAS officer, you want to become a bank officer, you want to become something else. Focus on that and work hard in that direction. You will definitely become what you want to be. A very useful quote for youngsters and ambitious youth. Now let us go to today's session. What is there to learn or get enriched? Let us have a look at the words. Today's editorial, a lengthy one. I may not spend a lot of time on the meanings, but I would like to touch because it is 500 plus words. So what is the first word? It's a medical term, epidemiological. Epidemiological means related to the study of diseases, how they originate, how they spread, and how to contain. It's all about touching or studying the various dimensions related to diseases. And it is purely a medical term. Salvaging, we have got many a time. Salvage, rescue, or save. Usually it goes with ships. It can go with any context. So salvaging, rescuing. Skewed has got two different meanings. One meaning skew. It means to change the direction, to change the path. But another meaning of the word skewed, to get distorted, to distort something. Distort means to change the facts or change the shape. It goes with design also. If you take a designer uses this word quite often, skewed a particular design element. Calibrated again has got two different meanings. One meaning, it goes with measurements or to measure something, but that meaning doesn't go with this context. In this context, it means, calibrate means to devise a carefully thought of plan or strategy to appeal to a particular group. Calibrated means to think of something very carefully or to design something based on a careful plan or careful strategy. An important word, important meaning, in my opinion. Ascertain, to make something certain or to make to discover a fact. Ascertain the facts. A typical combination, ascertain the facts, means what? Make sure that they are really facts, and to make something certain, to make sure of something, to make certain of something. Ostensibly, an important word, it means, one of the meanings, it means apparent. Apparent you all know, obvious. But another meaning of this particular word, ostensible, means something appears to be true, but it may not be true. It is like deceptive. Discernible, another important word, means perceptible or noticeable. Impoverishing, it means to make someone poor. Stunt, it is a verb. Stunted growth, a typical combination. Stunt means to restrict the growth of, usually it goes with plants and animals. It may go with human beings also. Stunted growth, a typical collocation. And vetted, it means to examine something very carefully. Many of these words are not the regular words. You got to spend some time to understand and also to remember the meanings of these words. Now today, no phrasal verbs, only idioms. Raise the bar, an important one. Storm in a teacup, another important one. Haste makes waste. It is a proverb. It is an adage. It may come under idioms as well. Out of the blue, an important one. Variety is the spice of life. This is also an adage. Coming to the exercises, test your English. You're going to spend on spot the errors. The regular 5 questions, spot the errors, and 5 questions from previous year's papers, actual questions given in various exams. And today you're going to work on one para jumble. You're going to work on close test, a new pattern. You see 6 words and they're not properly placed. It is like word swap. 6 words not properly placed. You have to find out the correct place and you have to swap the words. An important model or pattern. It's a new pattern. Coming to the descriptive part, today's editorial, it is all about reopening of schools. This as such may not be an important topic, but education, if you remember the acronym SLEEPS, what does the first letter stand for? What does it stand for? It stands for education. Education is an important topic, especially if you ask me, sir, what are the different dimensions or different topics that go with education, exam point of view? I would say the most important, educational technology. Today, the very fact that you're able to listen to me, you're able to see me, and you're able to receive whatever I'm going to say, or right now whatever I'm saying, that is because of educational technology. Educational technology is an important topic. You can't afford to ignore. You can't afford to take it for granted. You should have the information at your fingertips when it comes to education, a broad perspective, and when it comes to educational technology, definitely. Now it has come to the limelight. Today we talk about educational technology, and we talk about, because courtesy or thanks to COVID-19, we talk about online classes. A lot of schools, a lot of institutions of late, they have been focusing on, for the last 2 or 3 months, they have been focusing on online classes. So what is a prerequisite? Online classes obviously based on educational technology. That way it is an important topic. Now let us go to the editorial. What is today's editorial and how does it, what is a broad framework? It is all about the decision related to reopening of schools. Usually schools reopen in the month of June, July, and after summer. But this year, again, courtesy or thanks to COVID-19, everything has gone upside down. It has taken, and not the usual turn, a different turn. Now, many schools haven't been reopened because of this fear of COVID-19 or coronavirus. And this is all about the decision taken by the center and the decision taken by different stakeholders. What is a broad framework? It starts with a dilemma. You could say dilemma, you could also say dilemma. Either way, it is correct. You're not damn sure. You're not sure about a particular decision, whether to go this way or whether to go that way. Then we say, I'm in a dilemma, what to do. So it is all about dilemma related to reopening of schools. That is a main idea. Then it talks about in the world, other parts of the world. There is one important expression, this part of the world, other parts of the world. In other parts of the world, what is going on and what is there to learn from those countries. And then it talks about the alternative. As I said, what is the alternative? Alternative is online classes, whether it is good, bad, practical, not practical, whether it can be justified, cannot be justified. An important question. You may get a passage in prelims or mains, or you may be asked to write an essay related to online classes. Be prepared. This is an important one. And divides different demographic groups, different groups related to, based on economic factors or financial factors, social factors, cultural factors, whether this alternative online classes, whether it can be justified or cannot be justified. Then editorial talks about a reiteration of the same idea. What is the main idea over here? Related to reopening of schools, there is a dilemma, whether to open, not to open. The editorial reiterates that particular idea. Then it talks about the decision taken by the center and different states. Some states have decided to reopen particular month, and some other states a different month. And 20 plus states, I suppose, they haven't taken any decision regarding reopening of schools. So editorial talks about the stand taken by different states related to reopening of schools. It also talks about whether one has to consider parents' opinion or not. And according to one source, one has to consider, we have to consider the parents' opinion. And editorial questions to what extent it is feasible or practical at this juncture. Then it talks about the reduction of syllabus. You all must be knowing syllabus has been reduced because of this problem, whether it can be justified or cannot be justified. Then it talks about the trend, what is going on in other parts of the world, and it gives an example of South Korea. Editorial says there is something to learn from South Korea. Then it talks about the research, and it talks about in the Indian context, when it comes to India, what is the situation, and based on that, what are we supposed to do? That goes with the conclusion part. That is a broad framework. Now let us see how it starts and how it goes. No right answer on decision of reopening of schools. No right answer means what? we are in a dilemma. We cannot decide what to do and what not to do. We don't have the answers. And related to what? On decision of reopening of schools. As I said, this is all about the decision related to reopening of schools. And what is the main idea over here? The decision to reopen schools must be guided primarily by epidemiological evidence. This is an important word, though it is a medical term. So it should be the decision to reopen schools must be guided or must be based primarily on what? Epidemiological evidence or epidemiological factors. And what does it mean, the word? Though it's a medical term, it's an important one in this context. It is related to the study of diseases, origin and spread and containment of diseases, all about the different dimensions related to diseases, the particular branch. Then we use the word epidemiological and evidence. In this context, it has been used as an adjective. Then it talks about the dilemma. The course of the COVID-19 pandemic remains far from predictable. Today, if you look at the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, the direction, in this context, the word course means direction. The direction of COVID-19 pandemic remains far from predictable. That means what? It is not predictable. It is not easy to predict. Based on that, what are the implications? Posing for the central government the dilemma of salvaging part of the school academic year. Posing for the central government, because of this unpredictable course, unpredictable direction of COVID-19, it has posed to the central government, posing for the central government the dilemma of salvaging part of the school academic year, salvaging, rescuing part of the school academic year. This is all about, when I say it is all about reopening, I mean it is about the coming academic year. What are we supposed to do with that? So salvaging part of the school academic year while avoiding a fresh wave of infections. When we think of reopening the schools, we have to think of fresh wave of infections. We have to avoid that. So this is the dilemma, whether to open, not to open, based on against this backdrop. The school reopening question hasn't been resolved satisfactorily in other parts of the world. Though they have been attempting, they have been trying, in other parts of the world, an important expression. The school reopening question hasn't been resolved, hasn't been sorted out satisfactorily in other parts of the world, and the measures by many countries have been experimental. Though they have been trying a lot in different countries in other parts of the world, those measures, they have been taking a lot of measures, they have already taken a lot of measures, but all these measures, they have been experimental. Means what? Not the usual measures. They are like trying out. You try something new, you're not quite sure what to do, then you come up with a new idea, an innovative idea. Then we use the word experimental, something, you're trying to experiment something. Then it talks about, against this backdrop, what is the alternative? Yet policymakers are aware of severe impacts to the education process and the losses to students. Because the academic year has got delayed and schools haven't been reopened, what is the negative impact of that? Policymakers are aware of that particular negative impact. What is it? Yet policymakers are aware of severe impacts to the education process and the losses to students. Education process, negative impact on that, and also obviously the losses to students. They have been suffering a lot. The alternative, then comes the question, what is the alternative? The alternative of remote and online learning opportunities is skewed by economic status and geography. Skewed. One is change the direction, and another meaning it has a negative connotation, to get distorted, to get disturbed or distorted. And skewed by distorted or deviated, the regular path has been changed. It has a negative connotation, as I said, because of what? One is economic status. It matters a lot when it comes to online classes. And the other one, geography, geographical factors. Then the editorial talks about the divides. In India, the many divides, digital, rural, urban, rich, poor, have painfully come to the fore. Another important expression, have painfully come to the fore, means come to the limelight between regions and even within states. Now everyone knows that they have come into the public. There are instances of children left behind without computer access, internet connectivity, TV sets, and even electricity. When we talk about online classes, it should be a level playing field. What does it mean? The students who belong to different classes or different economic classes, or those who have different financial backgrounds, and also those who are located in different places, they should be able to access online classes, irrespective of the background. They should be able to, the family background, they should be able to access online classes. But it is not possible in a country like India. What is the reason? In India, the many divides, digital, rural, urban, and rich, poor, have painfully come to the fore between regions and even within states. Because of that, what? There are instances of children left behind without computer access. When they don't have computer access, no point in talking about online classes. Internet connectivity, no point in talking about online classes. TV sets and even electricity. That is really unfortunate. The issue of reopening schools is calibrated. Calibrated, one meaning it goes with measures, measuring something. But in this context, it means to devise or to plan, to think of something after carefully coming up with a plan or a strategy related to a particular group. Calibrated manner must therefore be addressed soon, but based mainly on epidemiological evidence. They have to think carefully, they have to come up with a plan, in this context calibrate, come up with a plan or a strategy, and it should be addressed soon. In this context, address means to tackle with or to deal with a particular problem, but based mainly on what? Not based on whims and fancies, based on epidemiological evidence. That is very important. Now, editorial talks about the decision taken by different states. There are apparently three groups. It is understandable that in the present confused situation, 21 out of 36 states and union territories, including worst affected Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, have not taken a view yet on when to permit direct classes. 21 out of 36 states in this confused, chaotic situation, 21 out of 36 states and union territories, including worst affected Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, have not taken a view yet on when to permit direct classes. They have not taken a decision yet. That is one group. States have also been asked to ascertain the opinion of parents on this issue, although it is unclear how they can do this in the short window given to them. Now, this is a chaotic situation. Right now, the present situation is a chaotic situation. No one is in a position to go out freely and interact with others, and social distancing is very important. In this context, how is it possible? It's like a narrow window. How is it possible to take or get parents' opinion? States have also been asked to ascertain the opinion of parents on this issue, although it is unclear how they can do this in the short window given to them. It means it is not practical, it is not feasible. Then it talks about the syllabus part. Among the center's responses to the problem, initiated through organizations such as the CBSE, is a reduction of the syllabus load for classes 9 to 12 by 30%. Reduction of syllabus by 30%, although this ostensibly supportive decision. Ostensible means one is apparent or obvious, and the other meaning of that, it has a negative connotation. It means something that appears to be true, but it may not be true. Although this ostensibly supportive decision has become controversial for its choice of topics for removal. They have removed 30% of the syllabus, and some topics obviously apparently have been removed, and the choice of those topics, that has become controversial. And what are those topics? Democratic rights, federalism, citizenship, and secularism, to name a few. There is a discernible trend of diminishing basic rights. Now it talks about what is the impact of that. Discernible, perceptible, or something that can be noticed, noticeable. There is a discernible trend of diminishing means reducing. There is a discernible trend of diminishing basic rights as a necessary sacrifice to fight the pandemic, but impoverishing, making someone poor. The syllabus, in this context, reducing the syllabus on these topics can only stunt social development. In a nutshell, what is the impact of this lengthy sentence? When we remove or reduce the syllabus by 30%, obviously it is going to make a negative impact, one dimension. The other dimension, when it comes to the choice of topics, when you remove topics like democratic rights, federalism, citizenship, and secularism, Obviously, the editorial says it is when you impoverish the syllabus on these topics, it can only stunt social development. Stunt means restrict the growth, stunted growth. Growth, stunt what? Social development. Such a decision should be vetted, examined by academic experts, and not imposed by bureaucratic fiat, order, decree. Yeah, I think you got this word yesterday. So here, editorial says these decisions should be decided, examined by academic experts, obviously, and not imposed by bureaucratic orders or decree, fiat. It presents a few examples. One of them, South Korea, what is going on. More fundamentally, if lessons are to be drawn from around the world on a back-to-school plan, a just-released large-scale study from South Korea would be useful. There is a condition. Which condition is this? It is open conditional and are to be drawn. So present and would be useful, that goes with, they should have used will be useful. Would be useful, it talks about an opinion, presenting an opinion. More fundamentally, if lessons are to be drawn from around the world on a back-to-school plan, a just-released large-scale study from South Korea would be useful. Now it talks about research findings. Research findings from that country, which worked hard to contain the pandemic early, show that older children between 10 and 19 transmit the virus as much as adults do. The findings have been acknowledged by public health institutions in the US as valuable and offer a cautionary pointer to community spread among adults and vulnerable groups from older students. Vulnerable, likely to get affected, likely to get exploited. It's a lengthy editorial, 500 plus words. On the other hand, the European experience instanced by Denmark, another example, another country. On the other hand, the European experience instanced by Denmark as far back as April is that containment in the community has to precede school reopening. That means what? Precede, to happen before. Containment in the community has to precede school reopening. First we have to contain, and after that we should think of reopening the schools. Now it comes to Indian context. The question is much more complex for India as a society that has severe inequities and where students live in multi-generational homes. When it comes to India, editorial says it is very complex. The question is much more complex for India. Why? As a society that has severe inequities and where students live in multi-generational homes. Multi-generational homes. And what is the conclusion based on that? Clearly, no early date can be set for a full reopening, and protocols on class size, distancing, ventilation of rooms, face coverings, and even open-air classes need to be evolved. Before they think of reopening schools, editorial says they have to focus on certain things. What are those things? Clearly, no early date can be set for a full reopening, and protocols on class size, distancing, ventilation of rooms, face coverings, and even open-air classes need to be evolved. First, they have to work on these aspects. Only then they have to think of reopening schools. Meanwhile, developing remote education for measurable outcomes should be pursued actively, since future disruptions cannot be ruled out. Cannot be ruled out. Rule out means impossible. Something that is impossible, out of question. Meanwhile, what are they supposed to do? Developing remote education for measurable outcomes should be pursued actively, since future disruptions cannot be ruled out. In future also, already have got this word disruption, means what? Interruption. So future interruptions cannot be ruled out, they are likely to happen. So based on that, they have to think of coming up with developing remote education for measurable outcomes. A very useful editorial, a lengthy one. I have been telling you guys, education is an important topic. They have given so many times, prelims, mains, and also descriptive paper. I am damn sure this year also, so many exams are there coming up. This will definitely come as one of the topics. Their chances are very bright. So try to get the basics is only one aspect. It is like the tip of an iceberg, this particular editorial. But you got to do your homework, get more information, broad view related to education, and specifically educational technology, online classes, and impact of COVID-19 on the field of education and what is going to be the future and how it is going to affect people across the country. So all these dimensions are very important. Now let us go to enrichment part. When it comes to effective vocabulary, what are the words? Epidemiological, an important word, a medical term. The tracking of patterns and effects of diseases. It is nothing but, in a nutshell, it's all about studying a particular disease or different diseases like COVID-19 or epidemic, pandemic or endemic diseases, touching the different dimensions. Salvaging usually goes with ships. It could go with anything. It means what? Rescuing. And skewed, it has got two different meanings. In this context, not accurate. You can also think of the word distorted. Calibrated, two different meanings. In this context, carefully assessed or planned to come up with a strategy. Ascertained, to discover a fact, one meaning. Another meaning, to make something certain. To confirm something, to make something certain, to make something sure. An important word. Ostensibly, an important word. Another important word. Apparently, one meaning. And what is the other meaning of this? Ostensibly, something that appears to be true, but it may not be true. Discernible, another important word. Perceptible or noticeable. Impoverish, and impoverish means making poor. It could be financially, it could be from knowledge point of view. Stunt, it takes the word growth or development or progress. Stunted growth, stunted progress, stunted development. It means prevent from growing. Wetted, wet is a verb. Wetted, it's a regular verb. To make a careful examination of something. To examine something very carefully. Now when it comes to phrases and effective English, what are the different expressions from which you can learn something? In other parts of the world, in this part of the world, what is a related expression? In other parts of the world, I don't know what is going on, but now because of this editorial, we know what is going on. In other parts of the world, that is one standard expression. You should also know the related expression, what is it? In this part of the world, that is one thing. In this part of the country, another expression. In this part of the world, in this part of the country, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what is going on. So when I say other expressions, you got to make a note of that, and you have to come up with your own examples. By listening, I don't think you can remember. It's always better to listen, learn, and write a few sentences on your own, and they should be practical and they should go with your lifestyle. Have painfully come to the fore. Something has come to the fore. Something has come to the limelight, or something has come to the public. It has been disclosed or revealed. An important expression. It is unclear how they can do this. It is unclear. Something is not clear how they can do this. How can they do this? Sometimes in the exam, they may give a question where you don't have this pattern, you have the interrogative pattern. How can they do this? Then it is not correct. It is unclear how they can do this. So, how, take a pause, they can do this. Don't say it is vague or it is ambiguous or it is unclear. How can they do this? That is not correct. How they can do this. An important pattern you have to remember. Excuse me. Can only stunt social development. Can only stunt. It talks about possibility or ability. Stunt what? Social development, economic development, and cultural development. You can substitute with related expressions. If lessons are to be drawn from around the world, an important expressions. If we have to draw the lessons from around the world, one pattern. If lessons are to be drawn from around the world, if lessons are to be drawn from a particular sector, you can use that also. Students live in multi-generational homes. A new expression, multi-generational, different generations. When it comes to generations, generally speaking, we use three terms or four terms. The first generation, the second generation, the third generation. And we also use terms like the future generation or the next generation. So you should know all these expressions. Protocols on class size, distancing, ventilation need to be evolved. Protocols, plural, so need to be evolved. They have to work on the protocols related to class size, distancing, ventilation. Protocol means what? Established procedure. Usually it goes with diplomats, presidents, prime ministers, chief ministers. It goes with public functions. the protocol that one has to follow, a particular state has to follow, an important word, need to be evolved. Future disruptions cannot be ruled out. Another important expression. Already you have got the word disruptions, means what? Interruptions cannot be ruled out. Idiomatic expression. Cannot be ruled out means what? It is not impossible. It may happen. It cannot be ruled out. When I say it is ruled out. If you ask me a question, sir, about a particular meeting, then I want to respond. No, the meeting is ruled out. The meeting is ruled out means what? It is not going to take place. It is not going to happen. It is impossible. We can also use the expression out of question. The meeting is out of question. The meeting is ruled out. But here, cannot be ruled out. Quite opposite meaning. Now, what is there to ask when it comes to this editorial comprehension point of view? Important questions. As usual, what is this editorial about? Definitely an important editorial. You have to write about this editorial in your own sentences, in brief, if not elaborately. What is skewed by economic status and geography? Another important question when it comes to conducting or organizing online classes. A lot of limitations are there, a lot of hurdles are there. So what is skewed by economic status and geography? Based on this keyword, you can find out the answer. What have painfully come to the fore between regions and even within states? Painfully come to the fore, keywords. What can only stunt social development in the context of the editorial? Stunt social development, stunt economic development. Based on these words, you can find out the answer. What do research findings from South Korea show? Plural form findings. So what do research findings from where? From South Korea show? So again, easy to answer based on the name of the country, South Korea. Many of these questions, in my opinion, when you write the answers, though I haven't been showing the answers because of the time factor. For some time I showed the answers and you got an idea how to write the answers based on the keywords. I insist, it is always better. It doesn't take a lot of time, hardly 5 minutes or 7 minutes. All the 5 questions, not the first question that may take about 5 minutes, but remaining 4 questions. Not even 5 minutes, you can write the answers based on the keywords. And if you make it a habit to write the answers based on these questions, what happens? You get fine-tuned. Your thinking gets fine-tuned. And in the exam, when you see questions related to, all these are basically explicit questions. Questions based on explicit information. So what is the benefit? What are you going to gain when you write answers for these questions? In the exam, when you see a question related to or based on explicit information, within no time, I repeat, within no time, you will be able to find the answer based on the keywords. That saves your time. Could be a few seconds, but in the exam, every second matters. Now, what is a grammar rule? The mother and not her children have been appreciated. Again, there is one more expression to connect two different subjects. One, the mother, the other, children. Mother, singular, children, plural. But when you join two different subjects using this expression and not, you have to consider the first verb, first subject. And based on the first subject, the verb has to be used. So what is the first subject here? The mother. And not her children. Don't consider. The mother singular, then have is not correct. It should be has been appreciated. The mother and not her children has been appreciated. An important one, and I'm sure a sentence like this, not easy to spot the error if at all they're given the exam. The mother and not her children have been appreciated. We may feel the sentence is absolutely right, no mistake whatsoever, but it is not correct. So why I'm saying this, when it comes to certain patterns or certain rules, you got to be extra cautious and make sure you don't miss that particular question in the exam. You can't afford to skip or miss that particular question. Now let us go to exercise part. It is your turn to respond now. I think it has taken 34 minutes. No wonder. It's a lengthy editorial, but I enjoyed doing the analysis. What is the reason? I'm in the field of education, obviously. It is rather personal interest. Another one, it is very important looking at the present situation, chaotic situation, and looking at the young generation, the students, school students especially, how they have been suffering. Imagine young kids, the kids staying at home morning to evening, And this is the time they have to go to school, meet the classmates, friends, and learn something and be part of that regular routine. But they have been missing all this and definitely not good for the kids. So that way also it is an important topic. Now please have a look at the words and try to respond. First you write the part of speech, after that the meaning. I will wait for your response. I don't know how many students are there. Fine. I think a lot of students have already responded. Basic grammar, this is not the platform to suggest a book, but still, if you are looking for the basics and standard English grammar, I suggest Wren and Martin, High School English Grammar by Wren and Martin. Who is that student? Wren and Martin. It is a Bible for all English teachers of English in different schools across the country. But mind you, I caution, it is not completely relevant to competitive exams. But you can have that book, High School English Grammar by Wren and Martin, for reference. A lot of rules are there, very important, but information is exhaustive. You can't afford to spend so much time. If you ask me, sir, how long will it take to master that book, Wren and Martin, related to English grammar, High School English Grammar? I will say, it may take 1 year. You can't afford to spend so much time on one book. So you should understand it is not a book to spend the whole day. It is a book for reference. It's a reference book. Oh, you guys have gone to the fourth one. This is a problem. If I look at one particular question, I respond. So much happens. Now, epidemiological, an important word. Obviously, it is an adjective. What is the meaning of that? Where is this related to? J is the answer. Tracking. This is your first session. Who is this? Kishore. I hope there is only one Kishore. I welcome you to this session, to this platform. I'm sure you will get enriched. You have to have some patience and just enjoy the session. What is the second one? Salvaging. Salvage, verb. Salvaging could be an adjective, a noun, a verb. And what does it mean? As I said, it usually goes with ships, but it could go with anything. Answer is D. Rescuing. Skewed, it has got different meanings. And part of speech is obviously verb. And what does it mean? Where is the meaning of that? Skewed. What is the answer for the accurate? Accurate, hold that one. Perceptible, to discover a fact. Prevent from growing, accurate. I'll hold this one. I will not say yes or no. Let us go to the next one, calibrated. Calibrate means what? Fourth one is rather easy, should not be that difficult. G, perfect. Carefully assessed. Calibrate, verb, it's a regular verb. And what is the meaning of that? Carefully assessed. Perfect. Ascertain. Ascertain means what? Part of speech, verb again. To make, fourth one is over. Go to the fifth one. B, to discover a fact. Perfect. It is, B is the answer. Okay, one more question. Who is this? Ishwar Rao says, so please tell me, how can I write notes on vocabulary? That's a very good question. I will try to answer that question at the back end of the session. If not today, I will do it tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. Today it may take about 9:20. It's a lengthy editorial. What is answer? Fifth one we got, ostensibly. Ostensible, perceptible, and something that appears to be true, but it is not true. Where is it? Apparently. Another meaning of that, that is adverb. Adverb, and apparently. H is the answer. What is the next one? Discernible. Discernible, part of speech, adjective. Answer is A, perceptible. A lot of students have got it right. What is the next one? Impoverish. Impoverish is a verb. Means what? Making poor. making poor, making someone, depriving someone of something. Oh, you guys are with the seventh one. Fine. It is an adjective. Answer is A. And what is the eighth one? Yes, verb I, making someone or something poor or depriving someone of something. What is the ninth one? Stunt. Stunt, prevent from growing. Prevent from growing. Stunted growth, verb, and E is the answer. What are you left with? Vetted. One meaning of vetted, it is examine carefully. C is the answer. One of the meanings. Vetted, verb, and C is the answer. Now I said hold one thing. What is it? Skewed. And answer, you're left with only one. Which one is that? F. F is the answer. Some students have got it right. I appreciate. Now let us go to, some of these words are not easy. Nothing to worry. If you get 7 or 7 plus, you should be very happy. Ostensibly, apparently, an important word. Seemingly important. Pretendedly, pretend. Seems to be right, may not be right. Seems to be not accurate. Yes, that's right. I was disturbed. Here, skewed, not accurate. Please add the word not accurate. Thank you very much. I don't know who that student is. You could also write, I have given the meaning distorted, skewed, not accurate, distorted. Thanks a lot. I don't remember the name of the student, but those who have got, Sai Jyotsna has got all the 10. That's wonderful. Venkateshwarlu, that's really good. Let us go to different, learn different with different words from word forms. I've given an idea, Kishore. This platform we have done already. Now we don't have so much time to focus on word forms, word combinations. There's so much to give. So already a lot of students know how to write the word forms. And whenever there's an important word, I usually give the related words. You have to wait for the correct word. Allegedly, okay, supposedly, outwardly. All these are rather easy to remember, should not be that difficult. Not accurate, tell wrong, how they get 10-10. They must have written, because the word not missing, but they know the meaning of that. No, Shivkumar, that's what I was talking about. I have, see, one word here missing. That's why I said hold it. They must have thought, because already I've shown the meaning, skewed, distorted, one meaning. Another meaning of what? Change the direction. Though you have seen there the slide, accurate, they must have thought the answer is not accurate. Based on that, they can definitely get all the 10 correct. No wonder. We don't have to question their credibility. Please don't question their credibility. Now let us go to the next exercise, an important exercise. Please have a look at this sentence. The first 5 sentences from today's newspaper. Today, please listen to me for a second. All the exercises, spot the errors, the first 5, close test, para jumble, all from today's newspaper, today's edition, not yesterday's. That's what I say. Some students must have thought design error and the word not is missing. Based on that, answer per skewed, answer is F. Not, there you don't see the word not, but it is taken for granted. So read the sentences and try to spot the errors quickly. That's right. Yes, Vijay. I've shown the meanings. There you got the meaning, obviously. That's why I said, don't doubt their credibility. Appreciate those who have got all the 10 correct. I really appreciate. That is not easy. Where is the error? Sentence number 1. Electoral. Where is that? Election Commission, nothing wrong with that. A few students have got it right. Here, when you read a sentence like this, you should ask a question. The first question you should ask when it comes to spot the errors, time phrase. Do I find the time phrase? With more than 70 lakh electors above 65 years of age, the Election Commission decided against extending postal ballots to them in the upcoming Bihar Assembly election due to the logistical challenges posed. There's no time phrase, but it talks about past action. Past action, no time. You're not supposed to use past tense. You're supposed to use present perfect tense. So that means what? With more than 70 lakh electors above 65 years of age, the Election Commission, singular, has decided. The one verb is missing. Which one is that? Has. So this is, what is this about? Past action. Time is not important. Not important. So which tense are we supposed to use? Present perfect tense. Please go to sentence number 2. Tell me where the error is. No, nothing wrong with this. Against is perfect. Please go to sentence number 2. On the way, nothing wrong. Coming the way or coming the way. A standard expression. It means on the way. Nothing wrong with that. But what is the correct expression? That you have to. Here, cascade is considered a collective noun. Collective nouns always take a singular verb, not a plural verb. So, cascade of scholarships, don't consider the phrase. R is not correct. It should be is. Cascade takes a singular verb. Cascade is coming, not are. And what is this about? Subject-verb agreement. Let us go to the next one. Have a look at sentence number 3 and series of, what is the meaning of the word cascade? Series of waterfalls. What is the primary meaning? Series of waterfalls, but series of something. It could be anything. Please go to sentence number 3 and try to respond quickly. Where is the error? Sentence number 3. A university, not an. Here it is a vowel letter, but consonantal sound. Perfect. A university, nothing wrong. No, it is not an. A university, what is the reason? Though, A-E-I-O-U. Here the sound is consonantal sound. Consonantal sound. If a particular word begins with a consonantal sound, we should use the indefinite article a. So nothing wrong with that. It is not early, it is earlier. Early is not correct. What should be the right word? It talks about the past context. Early doesn't make any sense in this context. Earlier means already over in the past context. Where is the error? The first word itself is not correct. Imagine in the exam you come across a sentence like this. Early, a university subcommittee formed. You should be disturbed. Tell yourself it cannot be early, it should be earlier. Then you don't have to read the remaining part of the sentence. Go to sentence number 4, a lengthy sentence. Read carefully and tell me where the error is. Where is this held on? Please mention the question number. I want you guys to write the correct word. Were carried on. No. The number, already have learned the rule. The number of what? Of publications that the advertisement was. Here the number was. Perfect. Nothing wrong with. Already you have learnt the number singular, a number plural. This is the question of the day. It is not on, it should be in. Advertisement carried in a particular publication, not on. It is related to the preposition. So what is the error? On is not correct. It should be in. In some publication. Advertisement in a particular publication, in the newspaper, in the magazine. Not on the magazine, not on the newspaper, not on the publication. So this is related to prepositions. I don't know how many of you have got it right, but I consider this the toughest question of the day, question number 4. Please go to the next one. We are running out of time. Not easy. If you get this question number 4, if you can spot the error, in my opinion, you're outstanding. You're very good at English. No second thoughts. Please go to the next one, question number 5. Under pressure, that too. Impossible. Yes, someone has got it right. First one, Bharat, has got it right. Very good. After that, I see some more students, they have got it right. Highly appreciable. In order to boost the moral of doctors, it is not moral. Moral means what? Value. Morals, values. But here the right word, morale, not moral. Morale means what? Confidence of a particular group in a particular situation. Confidence, not general confidence, confidence of a particular group in a particular situation, usually a negative situation. Then we use the word morale. Morale of doctors and paramedic staff working in COVID-19 hospitals. So morale means the confidence, the mindset of those people at a given time. 4, good, pretty good. Now actual questions. Again you see the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Oh, Shiv Kumar is the first one too. Fine. Good. I appreciate that. Please go to actual questions from different competitive exams, previous year's papers. These questions you have to get all the 5 correct. That will make you very happy. Yes, the ethics also, morals, values, ethics, they're all synonyms. Definitely, you could say that. Who is that? Pritham. Absolutely, no problem. Yesterday, one student posted, "Sir, I am from Haryana." I don't remember. I appreciate that. Now let us go to actual questions. Tell me, where is the error? The Reserve Bank of India's decision to waive ATM charges have put banks in a difficult position. Here, what is the subject? The Reserve Bank of India's decision to waive ATM charges. You cannot say have, it should be has. Or someone is from Meerut, that's wonderful. We have students from across the country and a few from neighboring countries. That is a good thing. So here we cannot use the plural verb, we have to use a singular verb, has. And what is this question about? Subject, verb, excuse me, subject, verb, agreement. Who is this? Smart Purna and Shamala also. Swarna Rekha. Very good. Oh, before that, a lot of students. That's wonderful. Yadav and Ramya, I think. Ramya and also one more. Wheat productions in the region will fall drastically unless we do anything. Anything goes with interrogative and negative sentences. But here it is affirmative. If the sentence or the clause is in affirmative form, we should not use anything, we should use something. Anything is not correct, something is correct. That's wonderful, I appreciate. Those who have thought of the word something are really good. That's really good. Wheat productions in the region will fall drastically unless we do something to stop climate change. And do remember, affirmative sentence, you could say some or something. Negative, interrogative. Negative sentences or interrogative sentences, any, anything. An important rule you have to remember, they have given in so many exams. No wonder you find it here in this group. Something is absolutely right. No, you can say that also, wheat production or productions, either way it is correct. It is a tricky question. Some students may think productions is not correct, wheat productions, but it is absolutely right. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you very much. I'm not a celebrity. A long way to go. Who is at Bharat? It is too early. A very long way to go. Please go to sentence number 3 and tell me where the error is. Yes, this is rather easy, should not be that difficult. Wave off. Please don't go back. Question number 1, what is it? Wave. No need to use the preposition of. No need. One of the worst is not correct. It should be one of the worst. Worst is not correct. It should be worst. Now it's so difficult to read the messages. No, don't say that. A long way to go. There's so much to do. Please go to sentence number 4. Where is the error? Thank you very much, Venkateshwar and other students who have said that, but I don't think I deserve that. Still a long way to go. Now let us focus on the questions. Question number 4. With inflation at 11%, companies need to come up with innovative ways to get customers buy its goods. Very good. Who is this? Nagamani has got, oh, Nagamani, you are there. No. In a way, you're right, but not exactly. Sai Kumar has got it right, and also Ushashri, a lot of other students. That's right. Very good attitude, Shiv Kumar. Enrichment is very important. Here, with inflation at 11%, companies need to come up with innovative ways to get customers buy. Companies plural, then you cannot say its goods. Their goods. Possessive pronoun, what is this question about? Possessive pronoun. So, question number 4, its is not correct. It should be their goods, because companies. Go to sentence number 5. Question number 5 should not be that difficult. Oh, Manasa, you are there. Thanks a lot, but I don't think I deserve a long way. There's a long way to go. Still, I have to reach a lot of students across the country. We have just started. It is a first step. It's only a beginning. Question number 5, where is the error? Easy one, should not be that difficult. No, based on is not required. No. I said an easy one. Yes, who is this? Vijay Kumar has got it right. After that, Lakshmi has got it right. Professional managed is not correct. In order to expand, the company plans to transform from a family-based business into a professional managed one. Professional is not correct. We have to say professionally managed. How is it managed? It is managed professionally. We need to use an adverb. Oh, so many messages. I will have to, after the session only, I can go through all these messages. Now, the million-dollar question. Who has got all the 5 correct? The last 5 questions, who has got all the 5 correct? If you say, sir, I got all the 5, that is outstanding. 3 is also good, 4 is outstanding, but no one has got, oh, who is this? Surendra has got all the 5 correct. Wonderful, I appreciate. And Shyamala also has got all the 5. Raviteja, all the 5. Wonderful. I appreciate other students as well. Now listen to me very carefully. Close test, word swap. New pattern, new model. You see 6 words. A, B, C, D, E, F. They're not properly positioned. They are like 3 pairs. And you have to swap the words. Tell me the pairs. Very good. Who is this? Ranadeep. Not easy to read out all those names, but at random. And I appreciate, I definitely appreciate. Wonderful. Verbal attack, bitter verbal attack. Very good, Pramod. Diatribes. But first you try to tell me the words you have to swap. You have to tell the pairs. The NCRB did collect data on what? Lynching, yes. So here it should be D, and obviously you have to check. Can you use diatribes here, polarizing diatribes? That means what? DA, the first pair. You could say AD or DA. I'll write here AD. A should go to D position, D should come to A position. No, lynching means, Yakub, lynching means extrajudicial effective English, but I'll use simple terminology. A group of people kill someone suspecting that person to be a thief or a witch or a bad element of the society. A group of people kill a person, then it is called lynching. Today the word lynching is in the limelight. Killing by a group of people, killing by a crowd, suspecting someone to be someone else. What is the second pair? CE. Attempt to defame India. So F comes here, and abomination. Abomination, an important word. What is the second pair here? BF. Has anyone written BF? That's right. Mob lynching, typical combination, yes. Quite often we come across mob lynching. It has become, it's a new phenomenon in our country, mob lynching. So what is it here? To defame India. And abomination, listen very carefully, that's an important word. Abomination means something that is disgusting, something that is loathsome. Now what are you left with? Vulnerable and conspiracy. Wild conspiracy theories, that seems right. And here, vulnerable groups, that is also right. So it is CE. Yes, AD first, BF and CE. Lynchpin, lynching. Okay. Now have a look at this parajumble. It's already 9:04. You got to be a little fast. You see how many parts? 7 parts. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So try to get the correct order. Oh, someone has, Rajshekhar, you have done already. Oh, this is the previous one. Please go to para jumble. What is the first one? D is the first one. Absolutely right. To save time, I see the answer, one student. I'll go ahead with that. I will write that one. 1D, that's right. The Indian Railways is the lifeline of India. Remember the expression, lifeline of India. Secret plan to harm someone. Yes, conspiracy. And what is the second one? Second one is C, with its vast network across the length and breadth of India. DC. What is the third one? 2 is C. What is the third one? Go to the third one. C is the second one. I have written already. DC. You have to tell the F. With its vast network across the length and breadth of India, it is not just a mere transporter of passengers and goods. F is the third one. And what is the fourth one? No, F is the third one. It is not just a mere transporter of passengers and goods. And what is the fourth one? Fourth B. But also a social welfare organization. But also a social welfare organization. That's right. What is the fifth one? You guys are responding so well within no time. I appreciate that. Fifth one is not A. I'm sorry to say. I'm afraid it is not A. E. While the addition of more trains with high technology coaches, that's absolutely right. While the addition of more trains with high technology coaches, G is the sixth one. Coaches, for what? To meet passenger expectations is a welcome feature. And what are you left with? It is a way of privatizing these trains that is a problem. This is the seventh one. So what is the correct order? DCFB, one group. EGA, one group. Has anyone got the correct order? Now the introductory statement, the topic sentence, the Indian Railways is a lifeline of India. With its vast network across the length and breadth of India, it is not just a mere transporter of passengers and goods, but also a social welfare organization. One, and these three, one group. While the addition of more trains with high technology coaches to meet passenger expectations is a welcome feature, it is a way of privatizing these trains that is a problem. These three, one group. So what is the pattern here? One independent statement, topic sentence. After that, 3 parts, 1 idea, and another 3 parts, 1 idea. So this is the correct order. Those who have got it right, I appreciate. Wonderful. Now let us go to the next exercise. Sometimes short sentences seem easy, but they may take you off the track. That's really good. Shiv Prasad, all the 7, and Snehashri. I appreciate. Those who have got all the 7, wonderful. Stanley Badugu, all the 7, very good. That is amazing. Pradeep Kumar Pandey. I appreciate all these guys who have got all the 7. Sai Jyotsna. Not easy. Now let us go to consolidation part quickly. I can wind up by 9:10. Raise the bar. I always try to raise the bar. You all know that for sure. So what is the meaning of raise the bar? Nothing to do with a typical bar. So don't go off the track. 2, what is the answer? To raise standards or expectations. B is the answer. We should always try to raise the bar, and that will result in excellency. What is the meaning of storm in a teacup? 2A. Something that suddenly and unexpectedly occurs? No. A small event that has been exaggerated out of proportion. Answer is E. Storm in a teacup. It is nothing but storm in a teacup. A small event that has been exaggerated. Exaggerate means what? Make something look bigger, better, or larger than what it is. Haste makes waste. Quickly doing things results in a poor ending. D is the answer. Out of the blue, this means something that suddenly and unexpectedly occurs. Variety is the spice of life. The more experiences you try, the more exciting life can be. Need not be all the time. Need not be all the time. I caution. But that's a usual saying. Has anyone got all the 5? Consolidation. Now let us go to the last exercise for today. It's already 10 past 9. We have to do very fast. Don't bother about the parts of speech. Just tell the who is this. Srikanth has got all the 5 correct. Very good. And Yakub also. Please go to the last one. Ancient. Ancient means what? Very good. Sai Jyotsna, I appreciate. Please go to. And a lot of students have got all the 5 correct. Ancient. Ancient means what? No, I want you guys to respond quickly. Tradition? No. Ancient. From a long time ago. D is the answer. Tulasi, all the 5. Correct. Wonderful. I appreciate a lot of students are there to be appreciated. They got all the 5 correct. Please go to the last exercise, consolidation, related to vocabulary. 1D, Gazette. Gazette means what? Official government journal. Go to the third one. Anglicized. Make English in form or character. Anglicized expression. Sounds more like English. What is the fourth one? Convention. Convention means that already someone has got it wrong, but here G. Yes. Convention means tradition or custom. G is the answer. The answers are coming like bullets, so difficult to make out. Go to the fourth one. Fourth one is over. Go to the fifth one. What is the fifth one? Defy, defies. Openly refuse to obey. Defy means openly refuse. Yes. Go to the sixth one. Seldom. Not often, rarely. Seldom does it happen. Rarely it happens. And anxious. Anxious means what? Feeling or showing worry. Tensed up. H is the answer. No, I can't make out. Go to the eighth one. Yes, 6A, 7H. What is the eighth one? Oh, it's already 13 past 9. You guys are with the seventh one. Eighth, I see. What is the eighth one? Pragmatism, an important word. Practical approach. Pragmatism, pragmatic, practical. And disrupt, interrupt. We have got so many times. Only 9 words. If you have got all the 9 words, you should be very happy. That's all for today. I would like to wind up the session. It's already 13 past 9. We thought of doing. I know they're coming like bullets. I can't make out who is posting what. Very difficult to make out. Whatever it is, I hope you guys have enjoyed. More than enjoyment, enrichment is important. Hope you have got enriched. Have a nice day. I will see you tomorrow with another session, with another editorial to enrich your language proficiency. Hope you have got the positive vibes today, Shiv Kumar. Thank you very much.